In this session we want to talk about groups and teams, and more specifically we want to talk about Belbin's theory of team roles. Belbin was concerned with team roles. He developed 9 team roles which he believed contributed to effective and successful teams. So he looked at team roles as a way of building effective and successful teams. And he identified 9 different team roles. Belbin's findings suggest that success of a team depends on the behavior rather than intellect. So it's the behavior of the team, the members of the team, that's important. Now, the definition of a team role, well, it's a tendency to behave, contribute, and interrelate with others in a particular way. So it doesn't advance us a lot, but it's just a small definition of what it is. So Belbin was interested in team roles, and he believed that it was the behavior of team members that was important. So they each performed a function. And if we look at this in terms of a model, then we've got on the left hand side, I'll just put the cursor onto the screen. Here on the left hand side we have action orientated, people orientated, and thought orientated. So we have different types of people, action orientated. And the action orientated is broken up into 3 parts and 3 types of team member: a shaper, an implementer, and a completer finisher. Now the terms here may be slightly unusual, but we'll come back to those in a second. In fact, I want to complete this class by looking at the meaning of each one of these terms: shaper, implementer, completer, finisher. And likewise for people orientated we have coordinator, team worker, resource investigator, people orientated. And we'll look at each of those as well. Thought orientated, well, plant, not very obvious, but we'll come back to it, as I said. Monitor, evaluator, and specialist. Now, the type of activities that each of these, and you can see there are 9, there's 3 action, people, and thought oriented, so 3 sections there, and they're further divided into shaper, implementer, completer, finisher, coordinator, etc., etc. So there are 3 in each of them. So there's 3, 6, 9. And these are the 9 team roles that we talked about in the previous slide. Now, the shaper finds ways to improve things. That's what a shaper is, and that's a very potted explanation, a very brief explanation of what a shaper is. Somebody who finds ways to improve. The implementer converts the goals or the plans of the organization into action. It's the implementer, somebody who implements the goals into action. And that's the brief explanation. The finisher, completer, well, it's time management and completion. Somebody who will bring it in on time and complete the project. Now down here for the people orientated we have coordinator, which is the chairperson, somebody who coordinates, somebody who links it all together, the chairperson. The team worker, support and cooperation. Team worker is a person who cooperates with others and who supports the others in their efforts and works as part of the team to bring about the outcome. The resource investigator, well, the resource investigator looks at external opportunities, anything being missed on the outside. And then we go to the thought orientated. The plant, for example, brings in new ideas. The plant is the person who brings in the new ideas. The monitor evaluator evaluated performance, and a specialist who provides the specialist skills, for example, accountancy or legal advice or engineering advice about particular things. Now this slide is actually quite useful, and you may want to stop the video and copy this out, because these very brief explanations of the terms here are quite good. They're a good way of viewing what is a shaper or a plant or a coordinator. Just make a note of them, because it's a quick way of looking at this. However, what I want to do in the rest of this video is to go on and talk about each of these in slightly more detail. We'll start with the top one, the shaper. Well, the shaper is an individual who has ability to challenge team members to improve. So the shaper is constantly looking for ways to improve the situation, improve the workflow, improve the methods that are deployed in trying to bring about the outcome. Very extrovert person. They tend to enjoy stimulating ideas and solving problems. Very open and extrovert, very lively sort of personality, but always playing with ideas and trying to solve problems. And also someone who can keep the group intact, somebody who can facilitate the group, someone who can help the group to stay together. There's an element of charisma perhaps about the shaper, and the rest of the team can follow behind the shaper and then will coalesce behind the shaper. So the shaper is someone who can keep the team intact. And the shaper also looks at all the possibilities within the group before a final decision is made. Someone who is careful, looks at all the possibilities and can analyze the situations very clearly and communicate the findings of any analysis of the group or the performance of the group or the way the group is going about its job. So very clear communicator. Challenges and overcomes obstacles, motivates the individuals. So the shaper is, as I said, constantly challenging the way things are done and overcomes any problems that are encountered and motivates everyone to say, the problems that are confronted, well, these can be fixed and we will deal with those. So it's a very positive attitude moving forward. These individuals can at times become argumentative and offend other members of the group. Inevitably, if they've got strong opinions and if that's their personality and they're quite extrovert and they're constantly looking to change the status quo, change the way it's done now, inevitably they're going to lead to arguments and it's going to cause offence to others. But the shaper should also be able to overcome the offence and so understand the nature of what was being proposed and communicate it effectively and try to win over the team to the idea. So that's the shaper. The implementer, well, implementers are the individuals who get the job done. These are the ones who actually convert the ideas into practice. They have the ability to convert ideas into action plans. They're hard-working, efficient, disciplined, reliable, and organized. They're implementers. They go about doing the task, converting the idea into an actual outcome. They can become inflexible and don't like change very much. Implementers like the way it's done, and because they know that system, they want to stick with that system. They tend to become inflexible. So that's a downside which has to be dealt with by management to ensure that change can be introduced and take the implementer along in that process of change. The completer finisher, well, they take charge of the completion of the project and task. These people ensure that the project gets done, not just people talking about it, but it actually is delivered. They pay attention to detail. They oversee any errors and take corrective action. They pay attention to detail. They are the completers and the finishers. Deadlines drive them to push the group and complete the task. They try to hit the deadlines. That is what they're aiming to do. They're seen as perfectionists, conscientious and anxious. They're always worrying about falling behind or problems. So sometimes they're seen as people who worry unnecessarily, but they're important to ensure that the project is delivered on time. The coordinator take on team leader, or take on the role of the team leader, or as the chairman, to take on that role and try to coordinate all the rest of the team to make sure everyone knows their job and what they're doing and work effectively. They provide the team with guidance on objectives and goals. They facilitate the team working together as a unit. They've got good listening skills and recognize each group member's capabilities. So they listen, they accommodate, but at the same time they move the group in a way that they're able to coordinate each other and deliver the product or the project in the timescale that was requested. They tend to be calm individuals who delegate tasks effectively to appropriate group members. They don't get too excited and they're not too loud. They don't alienate group members by their personalities, and they're not abrasive. They are calm individuals who coordinate, link everyone together. However, they can become controlling and manipulative. The danger is, after a period of time, they do become controlling and manipulate others for perhaps their own ends. So they have to be monitored and watched as well. Team workers, well, they provide support to other members within the group and ensure that the group members are working together effectively. These are team workers. These individuals are perceived as the negotiators, diplomatic and perceptive. They've got the interest of the team at heart. Their whole idea is to work for the team and that the team should be successful. They're loyal to the team. They're seen to be popular and capable of maintaining the group harmony. When there is a problem, the team workers try to solve the problem, and if there's a dispute, try to deal with this dispute and return everyone to harmony and to work. So they're focused on the team and making sure the team is successful. They tend to be indecisive and have a non-committed position during discussions and decision making. They tend to be indecisive. They tend to agree with everyone because they're worried about the team fragmenting, so they try to accommodate everyone, perhaps too much so. The resource investigator. These individuals are innovative. They look to different options and opportunities for resources on behalf of the team. They are constantly on the lookout for new ways of doing the job and introducing new materials or changing the way the job is done. They maintain contacts with stakeholders to help the team achieve its objectives. They talk with the stakeholders. They look at the job, they look at the task, and they look at the team and to try to innovate. They're enthusiastic, outgoing and extrovert. They're constantly trying to innovate what's been done. They can sometimes be optimistic about certain situations and they lose enthusiasm quickly and have to be motivated themselves. If they don't get what they want, or if there's a period when there's no change or little change within the group, they tend to become demotivated. So they themselves have to be re-energized. But generally speaking, they're innovative, they're extrovert, they're out trying to do things and try to change for the better the way the group is working. The plant is an individual that's creative who brings in new ideas to the group. They like praise rather than criticism. That's what they're doing. They're looking for praise, not looking for criticism. So they're doing it for that purpose. They are introverted and work separately from the team. But they are creative and they try to bring new ideas to the team. They don't communicate well with other team members. They like to work on their own initiatives, but they bring the ideas to the team so that the team will praise them. They're called plants. Monitor and evaluator. Well, they monitor and evaluate the ideas and approaches that other members bring to the team discussions. These are ones who are evaluating and analysing what has been said and what the proposals are. They consider all the options carefully by looking into the pros and cons of all the options. They tend to be critical thinkers and strategic in their approach. They don't automatically accept what is said. They think about it, they analyse it, they weigh it up. They're critical. They have to be won over. They tend to be detached, unemotional, and poor motivators. They simply listen to the ideas and then make comments, and based on the comments the team may be improved or not. But they tend to take the monitor evaluators' comments seriously, because these are the people who are critical but positive. They are trying to be constructive, but they are not just moving along for the sake of it. They need to be won over. Finally, there are the specialists. These are individuals who have knowledge that's required to get certain jobs done. They have the skills and capabilities in certain areas which give them a higher authority over other group members. Their role within the group is to know the answers, causing them to limit their contributions. That's what they tend to do. They tend to answer on their expertise. So depending on the nature of the group, if there is an engineer with a particular expertise, he or she may speak only about aspects of the work that relate to that expertise, or may make little contribution outside it. They may make some, but perhaps not a lot. They're specialists. But their presence in the group is very important because they answer the questions. Whilst the others are coming up with ideas and proposals, it's good to have a specialist to say, yes, it can be done, or no, technically it can't be done, or it can't be done for financial reasons or engineering reasons or whatever, scientific reasons, whatever it is. So the specialist is an important member of the group. Now these are the various roles that Belbin saw within groups. There are 9 of them, and I think it's worth knowing what each one does and what the contributions are. And that's all we set out to do in this class. And in fact, that concludes this class. So, thank you for watching.